When you were little, summer lasted forever. Remember that? The long school holiday felt like it would never, ever end. A single afternoon could feel like a whole day. Being a kid felt slow, in the best possible way. Now, a whole year can go by, and you barely feel it happen. You put up the holiday decorations, and it feels like you are taking them back down again a few weeks later. But it was a whole year. 12 months. Gone. You have felt this. Pretty much everybody has. And it is a strange thing when you stop and really think about it. Nothing about a year has actually changed. It is still exactly 365 days. Same as always. So why does it feel so much faster than it used to? Now here is the part that might get you. It is not just a feeling. Time really does speed up as you get older. And it is happening inside your own head. In fact, for most people, half of the life they will actually remember is already over by the time they are about 8 years old. 8. You still had baby teeth, and half of your remembered life was already behind you. That sounds impossible, right? But it is real, and there are 3 reasons for it. Keep count as you go, because the third reason is a secret that lets you fight back. Here is the first reason. It is the simplest one, and a scientist named Paul Janet worked it out a very long time ago. Imagine your whole life as a cake. Every birthday, you cut it into more slices. When you are 1 year old, that first year is the whole cake. One giant piece. It is everything you have ever known. When you turn 10, 1 year is only one slice out of 10. Smaller. When you turn 50, 1 year is one thin sliver out of 50. Tiny. The year itself did not shrink. But next to all the years you already have, it feels smaller and smaller. And a thin little slice goes by quickly. So every year of your life feels a bit faster than the one before. That is why summer felt so huge when you were 5. Back then, one summer was a big fat slice of everything you had ever lived. Here is an easy way to feel it. When you were 4 years old, waiting 1 week for your birthday felt like waiting forever. Why? Because 1 week was a big chunk of your whole little life. Now 1 week is a tiny crumb. It shows up and disappears. Before you even notice it began. Okay. That is reason 1. But it is not the whole story. Because your brain is much stranger than a cake. Here is reason 2, and this one is the coolest. A scientist at Duke University named Adrian Bejan figured it out. Your brain is a little bit like a camera. All day long it takes pictures of what happens to you. Click, click, click. When you are a kid, everything is new, so your brain takes a ton of pictures. Click, 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 click. So many. And when you have lots of pictures of a day, that day feels long and full. Think about how a little kid looks at the world. A bug on the ground, a puddle, a dog walking past. None of it is boring to them yet, so the camera never stops clicking. For a small child, 1 trip to the shops can hold 100 pictures. For a grown-up who has done it 1,000 times, that same trip might hold 2. But here's the sneaky part. When you get older, your brain gets slower at taking pictures. Click, click. It takes way fewer of them. And a day with only a few pictures feels short. It feels like it just whooshed past. So think about what that means. Time does not feel fast because you are busy. Time feels fast because your brain is taking fewer and fewer pictures of your life. When you were little, you were not remembering more because you tried harder. You were actually taking more pictures, every single second. You were living in slow motion, and you never even knew it. Now here is the part that feels a little scary. If time keeps speeding up, the next year will feel faster than this year. And the year after that faster still. Your 20s feel slow. Your 30s feel quicker. Your 40s, quicker again. Left alone, the whole rest of your life just keeps shrinking, faster and faster. Like looking out the back of a moving car and watching the road rush away behind you. Most people never notice this happening. They just get to the end and say, "Wait, where did all of it go?" So that is the bad news. Time speeds up, and part of it is simply built into you. The cake gets more slices. The camera gets slower. But do not worry. Remember that count you were keeping. Here comes reason 3. And reason 3 is a secret you can actually use. A long time ago, a scientist named William James noticed something. When you are young, he said, almost everything is new. Your first day of school, your first best friend, the first time you rode a bike without falling off. New, new, new. And your brain loves new things. New things make it grab the camera and take 100 pictures. It is a bit like your brain has a little helper who only wakes up when something is surprising. The same old breakfast you always eat. The helper stays fast asleep, but a food you have never tasted, in a place you have never been. The helper jumps straight up and starts snapping pictures like crazy. But when you grow up, so much of your life turns into the same thing, over and over. The same drive to work, the same lunch, the same walk, the same phone, the same screen, the same everything. And your brain looks at the same old thing and thinks, seen it. No need for a picture. So it stops. A day with no pictures is a day you barely remember. And a whole year of days like that feels like it lasted about a week. So here is the secret. If the same old thing makes time speed up, then something new makes time slow down. Want to feel it happen inside your own head? Try this right now. Think of the last really new thing you did, a trip, a first time, somewhere you had never been. Feel how many little pictures come rushing back. Now try to remember last Tuesday. Just a normal Tuesday. Almost nothing there, right? Same 7 days in a week. But one week is packed with pictures, and the other one is empty. That is the difference. It was never about how many days you had. It was about how many of them were new. So you cannot uncut the cake. You cannot make your brain young again. But you can do new things. And every time you do, your brain picks the camera back up and starts clicking. You are literally handing yourself more time. Go somewhere you have never been. Try something you are bad at. Take a different street home. Talk to someone new. Every single first time wakes your brain up and fills the day with pictures again. And you don't have to fly across the world to do it. A new food, a new song, a different way home from work. Small new things count too. Say yes to the thing you would normally skip. Your brain does not care how big the new thing is. It only cares that it is new. Because here is the real truth. The size of your life was never about the clock on the wall. It was about how much of it you actually noticed. A year where every day is the same is almost nothing. A year full of new things can feel, when you look back, as big as 10. So no, you cannot slow the clock down. But the clock was never really the thing that mattered. Half of your life might already be behind you. If you let the days keep sliding past, all the same, all forgotten. Or, starting today, you can go and find something new. Fill your days with pictures again. And watch your one short life get big again.